Okay. Are students at the community college level provided with advisement services equal to those of a university?
Actually, better. I will tell you why.
Please tell me why.
Because when I did my undergraduate and I did my graduate degree, I did not get the advice from a long-term perspective. Everything was per semester. It changed. There was a lot of change involved. One year I had this advisor, another year I didn't have an advisor. It constantly changed. Well, on the community college level, we have a program called SSP, and the Student Success Plan. It was a program provided by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they donated a lot of money to community colleges around the country, and Guilford Technical College was the recipient of a great deal of money to put this program in place. And the reason why is because of what you just said. Students need to get advisement, but it needs to be consistent. So what SSP does is it allows you to map out the programs. That's what they call maps. We map out what the student will be taking for 2 semesters. And we agree with it. We talk to the student. We show them how it's with the program, how it works with their schedule, whether they're part-time or full-time. So they leave out of our office being advised, knowing what they have to do. So even if I change jobs and I'm not the advisor anymore, guess what? They've got a map. And we journal in the maps. We journal in the student notes. So if an instructor sees it, if another advisor sees it, if there's a student with disability and they had an IEP in high school or something, then that's noted in there so that it's constant and it follows them. And if something changes, the student will say, hey, well then my map says that I'm supposed to take Biology 165 in my second semester. Why are you not recommending that? And then we also know based on the map what courses are going to be offered 2 semesters down. So we don't have the tragedy that I've seen in undergraduate or graduate where a student saying, hey, I need a course and it's not offered. Well, guess what? We know what's offered or need to be offered based on the mapping system. So that's what makes it so tremendous in the fact that our maps and our software system that we use and the fact that our advisors are trained to be engaging, to engage the students. We have a thing that we do in advising called WAIT. And WAIT is WAIT, and it's an acronym for Why Am I Talking? We want the students to talk. We don't tell the students what they need to be taking. We need them to discover and tell us and talk to us, and then we're able to advise them. Undergraduate, you walk in the office, hey, this is what you need to take it, get out of here, next. Here we work an appointment schedule, there's very little wait time, and it's tremendous. So yeah, I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome too, and you've just validated so many things. Okay, well, I'll move on so I don't have to harp on that. Okay, here's what I'm curious about. When you have a student who clearly displays little to no aptitude for higher education, what do you tell them?
Well, let me say this. I have not run across that student that's clearly, because they wouldn't be here in the first place. So, knowing that a student has signed up for class or has enrolled, gone through admissions, sit through 3 hours of orientation, there's a reason why. Maybe their mother told them, hey, get a job or go to school. I know that there's a glimmer of hope. I have to, as an advisor, motivate them or find that motivation to make it grow. I've got to sell them on the education process, and maybe I got to use my own personal experience. Maybe I got to tell them about, for instance, the radiography program that has such successful numbers. It's a 2-year program that you will actually leave out here making more money than a person who goes to school in a 4-year program. To sell them on that short success. Okay, you're looking for short success, you don't want to be here long, okay, take this 2-year program. It's going to be rigid, it's competitive, but at the end of that program, you're going to be making money while your same buddy that went to UNCG, their parents bought him a car, you're now with a home and a car, and they're still living with their parents at a 4-year university. So again, it's the selling points that they need to know. But this is not new. Other countries are doing this. The reason we're so behind in technology now is because other countries have decided, you know what, we're going to strengthen our K through 12 system, and when a student comes out of there, they can go into a 2-year program with all of their cores they haven't gotten them in high school. Now let me tell you a quick story. I had a student come in who did the middle college, and she actually In her first semester, she would be applying for the nursing program because she basically completed all her core stuff through the middle college program that we have, linked with the community college system, where kids in high school go into the middle college and they basically can get college credit courses for, guess what, free. Totally free. But yeah, they've got to have the academic record, they've got to have success in there, but they can. So basically what's going to happen is this young lady will be a nurse in 2 years or a year or so because she finished most of her core stuff, her biologies and everything, while she was in the Miller College system. You can't beat that. Financially, you can't. A four-year university cannot touch that. Cannot touch it. It's no comparison.
Excellent information. All right, well, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I just got a few more.
Sure.
All right. What are some of the biggest problems or concerns students express regarding their decisions to attend a community college?
Okay. They don't have that campus life. They don't have that student life. They don't have that social kind of bond. They don't have those sororities and fraternities and all that. They don't have that. And we have an aviation campus. We have an urban campus. We have a Cameron campus, which are logistics. So sometimes for the students, it's not logistically good for them that they may have one or two classes or have to take a class on a campus that's further away from them. As opposed to that four-year university, most everything's going to be right there in that one area. So there's I guess there's a scatter of locations that can sometimes hinder or challenge a student to get to these classes, especially if they do not have adequate transportation. Where with the university, you drop them off in the day, they're there all day, they have stuff to do, they go home, that's fine. Or they live there on premises. We don't have that. So that's one of the hindrances. But the amount of money that you save, the convenience of that, the I guess what I said, the community aspect of our instructors and the culture of trying to help students, I believe in my heart that it outweighs all of that. So those things that challenge them, yes, they're going to be challenges with anything. No system's perfect, but I think that we do such a great job in helping our students, giving them resources, giving them the ability of transportation, offering classes, day, night, evening, online classes. It helps overcome some of those things. So if you can't make it, we got an online program. Or campus may be closer to your house, meaning that you live in one side of town. Okay, most of your classes are in that part of town. So I think it's a two-edged sword in that. Our challenge for one could also be a luxury or an advancement for another.
Okay. I have an additional question regarding that. You said that transportation is provided in some form.
Yes.
What about incoming students or students, period, who have child care issues?
Well, that's also, now another thing let me get back to SSP. In our SSP program, we have a listing of resources. So whether it's child care, substance abuse, tutoring, whatever, we make those sources available to you and very confidential. So you don't have to come in to advise, say, hey, I got child care issues. We have the resources, you sign up for them, someone contacts you, or the agency is, and if there's agency funding and everything, we help you get that funding. We help you get those resources. We will help you contact the agency. We will help you fill out the forms if necessary. We don't disperse the monies, but we also help make that happen for you.
Okay.
So that's a great plus. And that's something that we have to address to the students and make them aware of when they come in the door, because they may not always know that these resources are available. But again, the software system, this SSP system that we utilize, is tremendous in helping to get that message out there.
That's excellent information. Excellent. Okay, two more, we're done. Now, with the high immigration numbers so prevalent in our modern community college setting, do you feel that all students are being given an equal opportunity to reach their academic goals in a timely manner?
Well, when you say the high immigration, here's my most complete answer and most transparent answer to this question. I don't know when a student is an immigrant or not, unless there's a visa hole that I see on their file which is stopping them. I don't know if a student's an immigrant. I may know that from first glance that they may be non-native speaking, but I can't truly, without a shadow of doubt, say yes, that's an immigrant. I don't know. We don't filter our students in that way. So when a student comes in and they're in a program, and let me give you an example. If they're in a faculty or if they're in a technical program, say like auto mechanics or heating and air conditioning, we assign them to faculty coaches who are familiar with that area of study. If they're in a transfer degree program like arts or associate of arts or general education program, then they're assigned to a student success professional. So in that sense, if a student is in, say, auto mechanics, then someone from the auto mechanics area will advise them. So they're getting the best advisement they can get, bar none, because that's someone working in a profession who has connections to get them jobs, networking, and everything in that profession. So in that sense, there is no difference between whether you're an immigrant student or not, because a lot of times we don't have access to that information to even know that the student's an immigrant. We're not asking those questions.
All right, good to know. All right, my last one. Now, I know you're a father now.
Yes.
Now, as a parent who has every intention of seeing your child graduate from a university with a degree someday, would you be comfortable with them securing their first 2 years of higher education at the community college?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if I have to foot the bill, I'd almost demand it. But let me say this to you. I have a son who was in a four-year university playing sports, did not do well, and he had to go back to a community college in order and effort to build his GPA, to get his grades up, to get back in that four-year school. Now that he's in that two-year school and he's working and everything, he totally enjoys it, and he actually says, "Dad, I wish I had done this first." Because he's better suited now, he's more mature about what he needs and how he needs it, and the convenience of the classes allows him to work and allows him to go to school, and he's not as stressed. Now, let me give you another very personal part. I have a daughter who's serving time in the North Carolina penal system for women. She has completed 2 degrees through Wake Tech. One in culinary arts and one in cosmetology. So what does this say to me? That at the end of her prison sentence, she will have 2 areas of job skills that she can work. Meaning that I will not have to support her long, or if any, and society will not have to support her. And that was provided through a community college education that's in connection with our Department of Corrections. You're not going to get that with a 4-year university. So when you say community college, you're talking the entire community, not just an elite set of people. I think what community college does is, and you're gonna this term hegemonic. It eliminates that sense that you know that we have an elite class, that we have a section of our society who deserves an education, one who does not. Community college provides that. It does that. Again, so much of what I do as an academic advisor in orientation is I have to sell education. And I tell you, I've sold other products, and I don't think there's a better educational product to sell than a community college. You will not get around the fact that it is cheaper. You cannot get a fact around that it's convenient. But you know what? You can't get around the fact that our programs now are 100% transferable. So why would you go to a 4-year university and pay extreme amount of money to get the same exact education at a 2-year school or a 2-year community college? Doesn't make dollars, and it doesn't make sense.
That is excellent. Excellent information. Rodney, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Right,
G-Tech. There you go.
There you go. I'm going to get out your house now.
All right. Thank you. All right.